Hi friends! So before school was out, we started reading this book, Mammals Who Morph, Book 3 of The Universe Tells Our Evolution Story. So today I'm going to read a little bit more of it. I'm not sure how long it will take, so I don't know if I'll finish the whole book, but we'll kind of see how far we get. So I'm going to hold it pretty close because the pictures in this book are really good to see. Alright, my adventure was about to speed up and become more dramatic than ever before. It started with small changes, a hip adjustment here, straighter and stronger knees there. In Africa, some of Earth's awesome apes stopped walking on all fours. They stood upright. Wow, they could use their hands even more. Hands could grasp and carry, fold and throw, twist and poke, carve and stroke. With nimble fingers and sharpening minds, they could make stone tools, build castles, dunk basketballs, and play the violin. Whoa, I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's get back to the story. Two-legged, two-handed earthlings began roaming the earth. Lots of different groups of hairy ape-like earthlings started popping up all over. They were about 4 feet tall and had large jaws and teeth. They dined on gooey grubs and worms, leaves, nuts, berries, and monkey brains. Yum! Once I was a swirling cloud of hydrogen. Over billions of years I turned into birds, horses, grass, whales, and now I was hominids too. Yes, I was becoming human. One kind of hominid had a high-powered brain that needed lots of energy. So they had to eat and eat and eat. But back then, the best hunters around weren't human. They were fierce carnivores, especially those dog-like hyenas and huge saber-toothed cats. They sometimes ate humans for lunch. Oh yes, dear earthlings, your early human ancestors were more often the hunted than the hunter. Then things started to change. Humans in packs, signaling to each other and armed with sticks and stones, learned how to steal meat from those fierce dogs and cats. After chowing down on raw meat, these hungry humans sliced into bones with stone tools and scraped out the fatty marrow, a great food for growing bold and brilliant brains. Who were these humans? Homo habilis, the handyman. Then a tall and slim kind of human, Homo erectus, the upright man, showed up on the African grassland, living alongside Homo habilis. They too followed dogs and cats in search of meat and marrow. Homo erectus fanned out across the continent. Some walked out of Africa and far beyond. Homo habilis vanished. Imagine a group of traveling Homo erectus families. They're hungry, cold, and huddled in a small, dark cave during a thunderstorm. Crack! A lightning bolt strikes a nearby tree and sets it on fire. They're terrified. But one brave person approaches the fire, grabs a blazing stick, and brings it back to the group. No earthling had ever done that before. Shrieks fill the cave as several humans scramble away in fear. Then they realize that this small fire won't hurt them, as long as they don't touch it. Ah, the warmth feels so good, and they can see by its light, even though night is falling. One of them feeds the fire another stick. Wow, humans tamed fire. For thousands of years, humans clustered around fires, grunting, poking, and pointing to communicate with each other. They didn't have words, not yet. They looked up at the moon and stars. They listened to dogs howling in the distance. More and more, they awakened to a world of wonder all around them. Thousands of years later came the great hunters, Homo neanderthalensis, the Neanderthals. One day, a group of males crouched in tall grass. They were muscular with strong bones, and their foreheads jutted out above their eyes. They followed a pack of dogs that had found a herd of mammoths. Scared, but hungry and determined, they hid. Then, they jumped up and killed a mammoth with spears. Around a crackling fire that night, men, women, children, and dogs devoured roasted hunks of mammoth and roots gathered by the women. Dogs and humans were becoming friends. With shouts, grunts, and simple words, the humans excitedly shared stories about the great hunt. Yes, humans were beginning to speak. Of course, communication between Earthlings was nothing new. Bacteria had been sending chemical messages for billions of years. Bees had been dancing their messages. Whales sang to each other. Apes grunted and shouted. But the awesome thing about words is that they can be combined in lots of different ways. The more they talked, the more they thought. The more they thought, the more they talked. Humans mixed and morphed and turned into another kind of human. One with a powerful imagination. They had high foreheads and their bones were more delicate than other humans. With artistic fingers and minds, they made jewelry, and about 30,000 years ago painted horses on cave walls. Who were they? Homo sapiens, the humans, like you, who live today. All other kinds of humans, even the Neanderthals, vanished. Now Homo sapiens were Earth's only humans. They descended from generations and generations of humans who lived before them. They hiked through Africa, Europe, and Asia. When a bridge of ice connected Asia to Alaska, a small band slid their way into North America. What were they thinking? They had no maps. Did the polar bears show them where to go? Wherever they went, Homo sapiens delighted in clouds, flowers, and rain. They beat drums, played melodies on bone flutes, danced, laughed, and cried. They asked questions like, what holds up the moon? What are those lights in the night sky? Where did everything come from? Somehow they knew that the universe had a beginning. Across the planet, they told stories about how the universe, was born. There were no more saber-toothed cats, and most dogs were now friends with humans. Humans didn't have many predators anymore, so they multiplied. Over time, there were so many humans that it was hard to hunt enough game and find enough roots and fruit for everyone. Then a strange thing happened. On every continent, about 10,000 years ago, humans noticed that plants make seeds that sprout into more plants. Humans began to grow their own fruits and vegetables. They grew grains too, wheat, rice, and corn. Grains are members of the grass family. Remember how horses loved grass? Now humans formed a partnership with grass too. Humans started making things out of food they grew. They ground wheat, added water, and baked it into bread. They ground cocoa seeds, added water, and stirred up hot chocolate. Delicious. They saw how life came out of the earth and grew with sunlight. What a great mystery. They thanked the sun and earth. Humans became partners with lots of other earthlings. Humans gave food, goats gave milk, sheep gave wool, and horses carried humans around. Humans clumped into villages where they traded with each other. Milk, bread, vegetables, all kinds of things. To keep track of how much was owed, they marked clay tablets. Marks morphed into shopping lists, math formulas, love letters, and magnificent stories. Wow, humans could write. They wrote down their stories about how I was born. They moved and multiplied and celebrated life with colorful festivals. Spectacular cultures arose everywhere. Bustling cities appeared. Huge pyramids and temples reached into the sky. Astronomers studied the sun, moon, and stars. Humans looked deeper and deeper into space. Humans crossed boundaries everywhere. To enter the sea, they didn't wait to grow fins. They invented boats. To fly, they invented planes and space shuttles. They enveloped Earth with a worldwide web. Humans crossed the boundary of time and took pictures to show how I looked when I was a baby universe. They saw that I did have a beginning and that humans evolved inside of me. What wizards humans are, but their cleverness has a dark side. Humans became the most powerful earthlings of all, but they forgot that they are made out of Earth's air, water, and soil. They cut down trees and constructed buildings everywhere. They figured out how to power cars and planes by burning ancient fossil fuels. They made plastic and molded it into a zillion things. They used chemicals to grow more food. They acted as though everything belonged to them to use as they wish. Humans didn't realize they were poisoning Earth's lungs, veins, and skin. It became harder and harder for non-human Earthlings to live. They began to die. Then whole species went extinct, never to live again. Extinctions sped up. Yes, we've come to the part of the story that's happening right now. Every day, about another 50 Earthling species disappear forever. Even chimpanzees, your closest relatives, are in danger. I've told you about mass extinctions before. This time, human Earthlings are the major cause. Earth is in the midst of the biggest mass extinction since the dinosaurs perished 65 million years ago. What good can possibly come of this mess? In every crisis before, a surprising breakthrough happened. Remember when I was less than a second old and nearly died during the Great Particle War? That's when tiny particles pulled together and turned into hydrogen. And when your mother's star exploded in a massive supernova, remember what happened to her stardust? It fused into your sun and planets. And when bacteria nearly killed all life during the oxygen crisis, what happened? Enemy bacteria started cooperating like never before, without even knowing that their partnership would slowly morph into breathing plants and animals. They had exactly what it took to meet the crisis of their day. Crises can unleash my cosmic creative powers. Today, my creative powers also live inside of you. You may not know where you're headed, but you're part of something much bigger than humans. And that's why you too have exactly the powers you need. The powers of imagination, love, and decision-making. Yes, my dear humans, I'm relying on you to be the heroes now. Working together with other Earthlings, you can turn this crisis into something magnificent. A new Earth, such as you've never seen before. Never forget that you are part of me. You're part of my wild and dazzling dream. Remember, too, that I am inside you. Every cell in your body is packed with hydrogen made when I was born. Your bones are hardened with calcium made by stars. Your backbone was fashioned by fish. The deepest part of your brain was built by reptiles. The love you feel for another deepened inside the very first mammals. Your awe-filled wonder began on starry nights around campfires long, long ago. My story lives inside of you, and the story continues with you. Every day, you add more to the story. You are me being you, and through you, I see myself, a huge, restless universe who loves to morph. Our adventure has only just begun. There's so much still to come. Follow your dreams, my dear Earthlings. They are my dreams too. Love, your universe. The end.